Hello, it's CJ Miller. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana. And always I want to do that, extend that invitation to come see us, to come visit us if you're passing through. Okay, so this is going to be kind of a quicker video. I don't know how much time I have. I need to charge the battery. And so I'm just trying to get this done before we run out. So I have these lamb chops. One, two, three, four, five, six. There's seven of them. They're smaller, but they're pretty thick cut. And so I've got them marinated. I've marinated them in this. Put in a Ziploc bag, put them in the fridge, probably about 6 hours in the fridge. Uh, and it's a barbacoa. Now, barbacoa is a traditional, usually, usually I want to say beef or pork. I've not really had it with lamb before, but it's a strong flavor, and lamb can handle that strong flavor because it's got a strong flavor of its own anyway. So, and then from that, it's just I've got a favorite seasoning blend that I use. Uh, this Italian herb seasoning. I got it at Sam's Club. I loved it, and just it's everything is in here, from the dried garlic, dried onion, spices, red chili pepper, basil, oregano, rosemary, marjoram, uh, thyme, and sage. Anything that you could want is here. Okay, so, but I did add some crushed rosemary, and and more thyme, and then of course the some fine garlic powder. You can use granulated garlic in these recipes. I don't have any fresh garlic on hand. And then what I'm going to do after that, once it's done, I'm going to let this go for a couple of minutes, the time that I'm talking to you, uh, YouTube, and then I'm going to flip these, and then I'm going to let it go for that long. I'm going to try to get them to a really, really good medium, but I don't want to. You don't want to overdo it. By the time I flip this over, and then I'll take them out and I'll let them rest. And then what I will do from that is, as they're resting, uh, I will deglaze the pan. You can use a white wine. I don't really consume alcohol, but use a little bit of water to deglaze and have a sauce, and just a touch of uh, thickening agent, whatever. I think I might have some flour or something like that, but it may be necessary and it may not be necessary. But what I'm doing is I'm doing some potatoes, uh, which is it's going to be great. So I'm going to have lamb chops and potatoes for my dinner. All right, so here you see I have flipped them over, and I've done the same treatment quite liberally with the seasonings. With when I'm doing something like this, I'm just not afraid to go heavy with it, the seasonings, because I know that what happens is these things make their own broth. These meats that I do like this, and this lamb chop in particular. Uh, in the skillet, I started with a little bit of cooking oil and about half the amount of butter. So, so I should say half and half unsalted butter and half cooking oil, just enough to give a little bit of something in this pan to keep these herbs from sticking as they're working. So what we're going to do is I'm going to leave this here on a simmer. I'm actually going to turn it down a little bit. But yeah, these take about maybe 10 minutes to do, maybe approximately 5 on each side, uh, give or take. And if you want to go a little bit more well done, you can do that too. I may. It depends. Honestly, what I'm saying in code is I'm not quite sure if I'm going to get a medium or a medium well. But anyway, uh, I know that it's going to be delicious. I've done this before. The only thing I haven't done is I haven't used that barbacoa, but I packet before. But I've done similar treatments. Anyway, And then, of course, I've got a side dish that I'm going to prepare. So, well, hold on, and we'll get back to that in a moment. I'm going to put you on pause, and then I'll come back to the video. So it'll be like an instant thing. You know how this works. All right, I've just done the final turn on these lamb chops, and as you can see, this is going to be a rich buttery sauce. So there's going to be plenty of flavor. Um, I'm actually going to use some of this to enrich the potatoes. Okay, so and I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm doing a cheaters. Today I'm doing a just a quick uh, thing. It's one of these packets, and you add like 2 cups of water, and you drop the. This one doesn't even call for milk, but to add a little bit of flavor, I'm going to skim some of the buttery goodness and put it into the potatoes, and then I'll use the rest of the pan drippings to make uh, a gravy, basically a sauce or a gravy, by adding a little bit of thickening agent. And let me see what I have on hand here. Ah. So, without cornstarch, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding just a touch of flour, which is fine. I've got plenty of flour. I will use uh, uh, if I use self-rising, I'll use a little bit of less flour. But if I use all-purpose, I'll blend about half of the pan dripping with half of the flour, and make kind of a seasoned roux out of that, and then add uh, some more liquid or broth to the pan to give a really really good flavor. And when you're doing this, it's really really great if you want to use. Like I don't have lamb stock, so you can use any kind of broth, like a chicken broth or a beef broth when you're making your sauce. It will work fine, because let me tell you, this lamb is a powerhouse flavor, and you really won't know the difference, especially marinating in this barbacoa. But you get all these various flavors. That's great. Or you can use beef bouillon if you don't have broth, or a chicken bouillon. You know, hang on, we're almost done. All right, so all I've done here is to heat the instant potatoes, and then use some of the broth from the pan that's still sizzling, still cooking, but I have put probably about 5 soup spoons worth. So I didn't, it's just like an eyeball measurement, and just kind of put it on top of here. There's a lot of rich brothiness in the bottom of that pan, and a lot of buttery flavor. So, uh, uh, so that's kind of what we're going to be looking towards, for this dinner. And then, of course, I'm going to make a little bit of gravy to put on top of this. I may actually, because this is kind of a thick potato consistency, I'll probably put uh, a little bit more water in the pan that the packet calls for, to thin it out a little bit, uh, to give it just a slight creamy texture. Uh, no big deal. I think everybody knows how to make instant potatoes. I did indeed add a little bit more water to give it, to spread it out a little bit more. I do still like a thick consistency, and the more this sits, the thicker it will get. Uh, so I just wanted to bring that back and put it on the video. That step that I took.